Blog is about testimonies, which we started this past week and will be continuing for probably the next 2 weeks. We got 5 people through. First Trevor, then Q, then Nick, then Gray, then Kiara. So I'll just go in order. I've talked to Trevor about this. I really wanted him to go a little bit deeper because it's our second year and we're mentors and we're setting an example for them. But, I understand that he wanted to talk about mental health because I know it's what he's really passionate about. He did dialogue about it. Clearly he's passionate about it. And it's something that he wanted the whole room to know. And I think part of testimonies isn't just, a lot of it is individual. I know last year when I made mine, it felt like a huge step because it was like putting everything that had happened on paper. And I think last year I used it more as like a venting session or like a psychiatry session where I just tell everyone every step of my life. And this year it's revamped, and I'm trying to focus it in more to an identity and less of a like, here's everything bad that's ever happened to me. Please listen to me cry about it, So I appreciate that Trevor's is really specific. It's, directly on his mental status, but it's something that he's done so many times with all of the freshmen with his dialogue. I just thought he would open up to some new social identities because I know he's passionate about so many things. Then Q, she had a beautiful poem. I loved her creativity with the style. I really resonated with a lot of the things she said because originally when I rewrote mine, it was called Do You Trust Me? And it was about trust issues. And it was still more of a like broad, these are all the things that happened to me, these are all the people that I can't trust in my life. But then I kind of narrowed it down. So hers really resonated with me just because I empathize with her on a lot of things. I appreciated that Becky kind of didn't call her out, but challenged her to go a little more in depth because she wasn't hiding behind her poem, but she wasn't giving us the whole story. And so I appreciated that she went to that deeper level and was really vulnerable in that minute where she didn't have words written down on the paper that she could just read. She had to really just let her emotions show. So I appreciated her vulnerability there. Nick, I was so just surprised by his, I guess. I didn't really know anything about him. I didn't know very much about his identities or what he was really passionate about. So hearing his struggle with porn addiction was just, I don't know, it surprised me. I was really impressed that he challenged himself in that way, that he tried to pick the most uncomfortable, embarrassing thing that he could share with us instead of just, like, feel bad for me, this happened to me, or this is something that I've talked about 100 million times and I'm just going to talk about again. I was impressed that he, went to that deeper level. I'm not sure which identity it went with. I know he really spoke to his religion a lot, so I think maybe that it tied in there. But and it was something that I didn't know about him. I didn't realize that he was very religious, very spiritual, and that he identified as Christian. So it was really cool to see that. Overall, I was surprised because it wasn't what I, thought about with a traditional testimony, but I really was impressed with where he took it. So I enjoyed his. And then Gray, I really would have liked to hear more about Gray and less about his sister. I was so touched by his story, and I just wanted to hug him and her and cry for them. But I really would have liked to hear more about him because it was about social identities. And he went into, how that affected him mentally and his relationships with people, but namely his parents and other people. But I wished that he had tied it in more to himself or gone a different route because he is really great about sharing exactly what he's feeling, and he's great about answering the questions. He's usually the first one to answer a question in class, or in class. But I don't know. I feel like testimonies are a time to talk about you. So, and other people obviously can come in. Like mine has a lot of other people, and a lot of it is my interactions with people, but I try to talk more about myself and how that affects me. And then finally, Kiera, best for last. I was just floored by what she shared about her abuse and her socioeconomic status. And I wasn't entirely sure how the body image played in because she said that that was the other identity. I think probably had something to do with the relationship abuse, but I was just so impressed with her and what she was comfortable sharing. And I know it was really uncomfortable because afterwards she just kind of had a little breakdown, but I was so floored. And I know a lot of people were really affected by it, and I was really impressed by how vulnerable she was able to get in that room. And I kind of saw the interaction between Q and Kiera before Kiera went, and Q was saying, like, how you feeling? Are you ready for this? And Kiera's like, no, not at all. I will never be ready for this. And to see her not let that stop her, I was really impressed. So with that, I think I'm going to end the video about our social identity testimonies. I'm really looking forward to this week. I hope people challenge themselves. I'm going to challenge myself. And so looking forward to class. This is the end of video log 5, I think.